This broadcast is inappropriate for all ages right here on #WeAreMovieClub. I am Cameron. Salutations, I am Cameron. I am conversation ready. God, you look like you're on a boat. Oh, fix this camera. I'm on a boat. Are you motion sickness yet? Are you motion sick? Not are you motion sickness. Have you embodied the breath and power of motion sickness? I swear to God, I had this microphone at a proper thing where it wasn't jabbing me in the shoulder. Maybe it was back when I was sitting like here and I was all cool and I was like, yeah, what's up? I don't think it ever happened, but it's below the poster. The title's there. He got real noisy about 5 minutes ago, and it wasn't because I was 15, 20 minutes late doing this, which, let me tell you, it's been a weird week. Yesterday I fucked up and missed out on podcast because I had a schedule problem, I had a problem with the schedule, rather. The calendar was wrong. I was just like, I guess I'm not doing that. And so then we watched Dogma over on Rabbit/Camerai for Bad Movie Club. And then we tried to watch, which ran over too. It actually ran like 2 minutes past time. So this was late. So Captain America, the first Avenger. So we were supposed to play. And I grabbed the wrong file and I posted up the wrong movie. So we ended up accidentally watching Captain America Winter Soldier, which I was not ready for, but it took me about 10 minutes into the movie to figure it out. Be like, oh! And there was only a couple other people there, but they were like already into the movie, and I didn't want to like pull an audible on them. I don't know. And there's something too about that site that people really run late into the night, and I can't do that right now. It's just not in my wheelhouse of what I can and can't do. I've got to run. I don't know. I can run a little late, but I can't run super late. I can't run to 1 and 2 in the morning every night. Already late for work because of other bullshit. I've had a weird, rough day. I don't like you, stupid thing. Maybe that's better. Is that better? It's not jabbing me in the shoulder anymore. How's this? Can I get nice and close and sensual with you? How's it going? Let's talk about Captain America Winter Soldier. Wonder how long I could actually do this, because right now I'm ready to laugh my ass off. Even the beginning of the movie is pretty funny. It leads with Captain America whooping Sam Wilson's ass at running around the little lake thing in front of the Pentagon. Not the Pentagon, the Washington Memorial. That's what it is. America! We know our stuff. On your left. Which sets up for a pretty good joke later, I won't lie, but I don't know, it's a weird romantic conversation that comes out of really nowhere. There's zero development up to that point. It's just, I run good. How about you? You run better. Yeah. I don't know why my athletic gay man is Batman, but sure, why not? Batman and Robin, maybe that's why. Oh, superheroes. Your tight spandex. Which he puts on. He puts on a version thereof anyways. On their way to the boat mission, Widow picks him up and they go out, and there's this running joke of Widow trying to set Captain America up on dates, and maybe, and like, more power to her if she's up about having wild sexual adventures all the time, but that's almost where my mind goes. It's like, she's boning a lot, and she's like, I bet he doesn't get to do that, because he has this weird history where, like, he was this frail little virgin, and then he became a super soldier, and then a year later he got frozen for 100 years or 50 years or whatever it was, and then started working for Shield and hasn't had the time to catch up on all his boning, because the woman Because the woman he was in love with, Captain America, is a very moral center of the Marvel Universe. Because the woman he was in love with was 90 years old, so he had to wait for her to die before he could fuck her granddaughter. I don't remember if it's his granddaughter or not, but he does start relations with her niece, maybe? Yeah, Aunt Peggy, that's right. After her funeral in Civil War. It's so ridiculous. If you don't think these movies are comedies, you are not paying attention. There are jokes, little, big, small, and sad, written throughout the entire thing. Or I meant dark, not sad. And it's all stemmed from the idea of like how the comic books are written, and somebody was like, "That's a Kirby joke. We're gonna put that in there." And I don't know if Jack Kirby would have written that particular joke, but the example stands. So in the comics, this makes so much more sense. It's kind of like all fucked up when we're looking at it in the movie. Captain America, Steve Rogers, whatever you want to call him, I'm going to call him Cap, is, again, a very moral center of the MU. So he doesn't work well in an intelligence division, which is what S.H.I.E.L.D. is. It's like a superpowered FBI. It's not. It's a world peacekeeping mission. It's not an American government branch. It's not a private organization out to rule the world through information. It's none of the things that the fucking MCU makes it into. But if we accept a suspension of disbelief that S.H.I.E.L.D. is what S.H.I.E.L.D. is in the movies, Captain America still doesn't fit in there. And he didn't fit in the comic version where he was a lot closer. Because in the comics, he is, Legion status or whatever. So he can essentially make any team he wants, use any resources he wants from S.H.I.E.L.D. Unless somebody stops him or calls him out on it. And I think the only people that can do that are like Fury, maybe, or Maria Hill, like when she's director. Yeah, so it's the director that's in charge of that. So in this, it's pretty much the same thing, except he doesn't make his own teams. He just kind of like isn't put in charge of ops and it's weird stuff. And so he almost goes nomad in this too. If we didn't have the Winter Soldier's Bucky, spoilers, storyline, we would have had the next movie be Nomad. And if we weren't going towards this Civil War bullshit that the MCU does, that probably would have been the better angle. I'll be completely honest. If we had not done this as a Winter Soldier movie and done this as a different movie, and just have Captain get frustration, and then have him throw down the shield, have him throw down the helmet and become Nomad. Nomad would have been a fucking awesome movie to follow this up with. It would have been a lot better than the Winter Soldier Civil War movie. I'm not calling it Captain America Civil War anymore. It's Winter Soldier Civil War. Or technically it's Winter Soldier 2. That's what I'm going to call it from now on. Fuck, I'm not calling it Civil War. It didn't Civil War enough. Blah, blah, blah. I love the fact that he jumps out of the airplane without a parachute, and then the guy who turns out to be Crossbones is like, no, he didn't have a parachute. It's Captain America. And the fact that he is like that the whole time and not, like, smarter about dealing with Rogers, I don't understand. I don't understand how Hydra doesn't, like, as an intelligence agency, as it's, like, snaking its way up through S.H.I.E.L.D. And because if you're watching the series, too, Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., it's all throughout that. It's all throughout this movie that they're infiltrating S.H.I.E.L.D. and they're rotting it from the core, and that they don't take Captain America as serious of a threat, especially with what a bunch of wusses Hydra is. They have the only military people that Hydra really has are S.H.I.E.L.D. agents. Hydra is almost a joke when it comes to actual fighting. They do much better as like infiltrators and secret holders, as a like intelligent spy movie, and that's what we're probably gonna get out of the Black Widow movie. And it could be good. It won't be, but it has potential to be good in that it'll end up being a standard femme fatale movie. And it'll just be sad that it's included in the Marvel U, and that it's on Scarlett Johansson's varied resume. I made the mistake of calling her out like at the chat room that like she does a bunch of action stuff and that's why she got picked as Black Widow. No, she has like a very balanced thing. Like Lost in Translation wasn't too soon before Black Widow, or before Iron Man 2 with first appearance of Black Widow. Was the other thing that I was so surprised about. I'll go ahead and pull up her IMDb. We haven't even gotten through the boat yet because I have a big problem with something on the boat. But like the whole time they're on the boat, like she's got her own agenda, and Steve's all pissed off about it because he doesn't like the secrets. He likes honesty and upfront because that's what soldiers do. It's like that's why he wears this blue suit with an A on it and a big fucking bright shield. You can see it right there. Like that is not a guy who does covert. And that doesn't mean he can't be quiet and stand behind a rock. But he's a guy who charges onto the battlefield and goes, "I'm Captain America. You will surrender. Or we'll fight and you'll lose." That's Cap's gig. Nick Fury's the guy in the shadows. Black Widow is the jumping spider. I don't know why. What are you doing that you stole my cord? You fat cat. I have no idea what she pulled. Apparently... Ugh! And I got lucky that she didn't spill my soda, but apparently I felt the need to do that myself. Apparently... No, my headphones are right there, so what the fuck did they grab? Go away. Look, I have some paper towels right here. Okay, so... I'm looking at it, and she still did, like, Rough Night. She did Lucy and Ghost in the Shell in the middle of this. What was it? She did Her in 2013. Dawn Juan, Under the Skin, all that same year. She must be saving up for her daughter's college or something. After the Avengers, that was the year after the Avengers. She did We Bought a Zoo the year before the Avengers. The year before Iron Man 2, He's Just Not That Into You. The Spirit before that, maybe. And then Nanny Diaries. Nanny Diaries was in 2007. She was Natasha Romanoff in Iron Man 2 in 2010. Nanny Diaries is kind of like the turning point where she went from like reasonable college girl, and then past that she was pretty much like, yeah, you're a fucking adult. Don't pretend to be a high school. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. And she's still lovely. And fuck, she could probably kick my ass these days because she's been doing the action thing enough that she's just probably got muscles on top of muscles to keep up with all that. She's gonna outlast me in fucking anything we try doing. Okay. Let's see if I can make this. Probably not. This is life. This is life. All you know is that the trash can is somewhere that direction. You don't know if I actually missed or not. Okay, so I wrote down like philosophical friction. That's a good air for like the conversations he has with Widow and the conversation that he has with Fury. And then somehow that leads to, oh, you must want to see our new toys, our new motherfucking airships. And that's not what he sounds like, but that's what I'm going to go with. And so he shows them these mega helicarriers, I think is what they call them, that have guns like all up and down the sides. And I don't know who thought that was a good idea to be able to do that. Like, I'm pro-gun, and even I think that's probably a bad idea. Because that was just Hydra, like, sneaking the plans and be like, yeah, do this. Because you know it wasn't fucking Fury's idea. Now, it would have probably been great to have those when the Chitauri invaded, the incident in New York. Let's see, there was probably another incident where that would have been fun. They would have been useless by the time we go to Thanos, because Thanos will have someone that just tears through him like a son of a bitch. Let's see. See if we can skip over any of this. We have him. Oh, we have the really sad part of him visiting Peggy because Peggy's losing her fucking mind. And then we have to snap back into his possibly sadder reality because he's doing stuff that he doesn't want to do, and et cetera, et cetera. And then, like, Fury's investigating a thumb drive that he locked out of himself. Like, that's how big into secrets Fury is. He's like, I don't have enough. I'm going to make some up and give them to myself to solve. To find out, to discover, whatever you want to call it. That's how full of bullshit he is. And there's the guy on the council. I don't know why there's a council. I'm just being honest. I don't know what that's about unless it's the UN. And if the UN has a subcommittee for directing or to help advise Shield, great. But I don't know why Fury is like, I got to answer to you folks. No. Fury does what Fury wants to do, and I think it comes down to whether or not like he stays where in office. Essentially, is what they decide. That's what it should be, anyways. I don't know what the hell they're actually in charge of, especially since Hydra kills all of them by the end of this. I'm not doing this in order. Fuck you guys. So these are the old guy in the council that I just don't understand. Like I don't understand his point purpose other than he's the bad guy and he's Hydra. Blorg. But Steve does some pretty smooth manipulating on his boyfriend Sam Wilson by dropping by that support group and being like, hey, I got your back when you need it. Sorry, I did it in Top Gun. I'll do it now. I don't care. Oh yeah, so right when like Fury calls Hill in, I don't know what she was doing that she had anything better to do than do whatever Fury told her to do, because he's the director and she's his subordinate. The fake cop thing is amazing. They have enough squad cards and guns and equipment to warrant like a small, mind you, precinct, but a precinct nonetheless. And they unload everything. I have no idea how anyone thought that was going to look legitimate in any way, shape, or form. How anyone was going to cover that up, though. That is not how Hydra works. Hydra probably would have sent in like a stealth jet or copter or rocket boosters and just lifted the car off the street. That would have been a Hydra thing. And then they would have like barn swallowed it with a plane. That would have been a Hydra thing. This mess, this abomination of a kidnapping attempt, which is only saved by fucking Winter Soldier showing up, and he had the coolest magnetic landmine, which blows the car up. But Fury had a better toy. It's a running gag with Fury in the comics that he always has the best toys. So anytime anybody has a toy that goes up against Fury, he's got a better one. I think he had like a weird line or something that's like, my doohickey beats your doohickey. So Samuel L. Jackson pulls out a fucking lightsaber. That's not what it was, but fine. And then cuts a hole through the roof of the car through, I don't know, 10 feet of concrete or asphalt or whatever, and escapes into the sewer. I better hope it was a drainage tunnel. And then manages to come out anywhere near Steve's apartment, climb all the way up without stinking up this place or getting an infection from the multiple bullet wounds and shit he has. Insanity that would happen. So my suspension of disbelief got broke just a little bit by that hole in the ground. But of course, like, they have to have this weird bugged conversation and Fury gets assassinated. Fury is also famous for having LMDs, live model decoys. If you follow Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., this is something that comes up a few times, used by the bad guys, and I think a couple times by the good guys. But the perception of whether or not they're actually alive is a horrifying topic of conversation, because they have motivations. It may not be to stay alive, but they have free will and things that motivate them. So why aren't they considered alive other than like, no, it's a toy I made. So just because it's a sentient life that you can turn on and off doesn't mean it's not sentient. I have problems with LMDs. Now, if you're remote controlling it or you're advising it and like it doesn't actually have free will, that's another thing. Oh yeah, on the boat, back on the boat. Why the fuck can that French pirate guy go toe to toe with Captain America? I guess it kind of showed that he can't. He manages to dodge quite a few punches and direct hits, but as soon as Captain starts laying into him, he's out. Like he recovered pretty quick. So I guess maybe he's the French version of a super soldier. That's the only thing that I can think of, and that's not supposed to be the case. But Cap even puts the shield down and takes his helmet off, and then rumbles with him. There we go. Words, people, words. And then he escapes, and then we never see him again. I want to see that French pirate again, or whatever his name is. Maybe when he's hanging out with Nagahide or whatever, and Ultron. Like that would have been a good place for him to show up. The elevator scene. Like I did get distracted for a little bit after Hill and Romanoff show up for Fury. God damn it. The old guy's talking down to Cap about Fury and being a dickhead. Fuck him. The elevator scene is fantastic. They almost get him because they actually have magnetic handcuffs that are almost strong enough. Because they maglock him to the wall of the elevator, and it takes gravity and him doing a full squat thrust just to get it away from the wall. And then, surprisingly, it doesn't, hook back onto the wall at all. But Widow meets up with the captain, and they go to the local Apple store where they're annoyed by the genius. I hate saying that. I've been Aaron. And of course he's gonna go over there to try to talk to Widow. Who wouldn't? Probably a lot of people, honestly. She's probably pretty intimidating in real life. I'm sure she's friendly enough, but just oh yeah, the training cap. Zoloff as an AI, I really appreciated this because it was like a 1960s AI. Because what he was kind of his old bad health in the 1940s, 45s when the World War II ended. I was trying to figure out what the Germans would call it, because I think that Ralph Garman, when he was doing the Klaus and Rudaka, very good characters. They were talking about it being the Good War, and that is preposterous. That is hippopotamus. Oh my god. So yeah, so it is preposterous. It's Good War. It's World War II. Ends around 1945. So let's give Zoloff another 20 years. Let's call it a 1960s version of an AI, where he's literally the building that they're in, because that's how big computers had to be back then to actually work the way we need them to now. Boo, 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 boo. Yeah, and Winter Soldier does not understand covert ops at all. Not at all. Not when he went against Fury, not when he went after the Hydra trader, because he jumps on the roof of the car in the middle of traffic, rips him out the window, and tosses him away. Who knows if he lived or not? Who knows? Didn't even confirm the kill. And then he starts punching wildly into the car at Sam and Natasha and Steve. So eventually Hydra overwhelms them. Right after we have the whole Steve recognizing Winter Soldier as Bucky nonsense, because his mask falls off because he has a very sexy mask that's covering up his face. And he's like, "You don't know who I am because I am Bucky." That's not what Bucky sounds like, but that's okay. And so Hill breaks them out from the transports because she actually knows how to do covert ops. She's a spy. Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, something like that. I don't know. And then when I came back from getting ice cream, they were all in dungeons. Hydra's talking to Winter Soldier in some dungeon. And then Cap's rallying and everyone against Fury in another dungeon. And Fury is like, "I have more cards to play. I guess you win, Captain." which I'm betting he manipulated everybody into voting for Cap to go against him because that's what he actually wanted. Because it's Nick Fury, and Nick Fury basically gets whatever the fuck he wants. I liked this part. Like, not only was Abed shows up, he's the guy that lets in Captain America. Abed from Community. It still gets me, because it's like he gets to put on his record now. He's like, I'm the guy that shits his pants when Captain America shows up. It's really like a character doesn't know what to do either. He's just like, come on in. And technically, even if he's wanted by Shield, like he doesn't mean that he doesn't have the right to be there. He's got the authority. So Captain Teams infiltrates, and then this is how Captain America he is. He infiltrates, and then it not only announces that he's there, but he outs the covert villains in the building. It's like, there's Hydra in here. They might be right next. I know that's not Captain America. It's just more fun. There's Hydra in here. He might be right next to you. He might be your friend to your left. They're taking over. They're launching the helicarriers. They're doing this. They're doing that. And quite frankly, I don't give a damn. The fact that like anything would happen after that announcement is ludicrous. So like, and then the Cross guy who later becomes Crossbones or whatever, comes in with a gun into a room of personnel that I'm pretty sure all are armed, and then puts a gun to the guy's head and be like, you launch it now. Like, well, you're obviously Hydra, so I'm not doing that. If you're gonna hurt me, well, then that tells me not to do that. Why am I gonna do things for someone who hurts me? I'm a trained SHIELD agent. And then someone else is gonna shoot at him. It's so dumb. I was really mad that like Agent 13 didn't cap him. Because she was definitely the one by the end of that scene that had her gun out and was actively after him. But I think she stopped to help someone else who got shot, maybe? So, that's how Captain America she is. We're all a little Captain America. The question is, like, on what scale? There's a lot of stuff that happens next during all this fight, because they're just... By the time the helicopter carriers start taking off, Wilson goes to the air. Steve starts fighting on the ground. Who knows what Widow starts doing? Oh, that's right. She's infiltrating because she's a spy. But they eventually make it on the ships. Winter Soldier ends up stealing a Quinjet and killing a bunch of people, and then shooting Sam out of the sky. He ends up ripping his wing off. It's a real mess. But of course, it all leads up to Winter Soldier versus Captain America, where Captain puts the shield down and says, I'm not going to fight you. I loved you since we were little boys. And it gets very homoerotic, because Bucky's just beating the snot out of him, and he's like, I don't know you. I don't know you. And you could tell that they really love each other inside each other. Eventually people end up taking control. Helicarriers end up shooting each other down, because that's what you do with all that weaponry. Instead of target, what do they have, like 5,000 ground targets from those 3 helicarriers? That was ridiculous. Like, not even that you would... Oh, I'm on the wrong channel. That's okay. Not even that you would... So I can't see YouTube. Whatever. So not even that you would... How do I say it? Make those things. But, like, that's how you use it? You target that many civilians? Like, they had a whole, like, Darwin plan, and fuck them. Because it was kind of a dumb plan. It really was. To do individual shots and try to minimize collateral damage. You might as well level the city. Like, what are you taking over if you're going to kill 90% of the population? Morons. I don't know. Hail Hydra. Idiots. I mean, Red Skull's the planner, and since he left, he was like the Steve Jobs of Nazis. Ever since they lost Red Skull, Hydra didn't know what they were doing. Oh man. So Crossbones and Falcon are fighting because Falcon doesn't have anything better to do. And so one of the helicarriers like fell into the building, and then the building kind of drops down on him because he's running away from the helicarrier coming into the building. And he's still, I can't believe he was still mad in Civil War. It's like, that wasn't anyone's fault but his. It's like, you guys dropped a building on me. It's like, no, your helicarrier that you had as Hydra fell out of the sky and dropped a building on you. But some people just want to blame others, and that's what it is. Yeah, so they do this like weird wrap-up prologue before the movie ends, mind you. So the prologue isn't even the last thing in the movie, which shows that they don't know how to fucking write a movie. But they can write some damn good action. Because they did, I'll be honest. But they include Crossbones in that, and that's the moment where I realized that he was Crossbones. Like, it's the movie's been out for how many years now? We've watched Civil War. I can't tell you how many times where it's like, oh, Crossbones, and I recognize him there, and then I don't recognize the same actor because he made that little impact in this movie. I hate to say it, but he really did. Like, he was a dick that I didn't want to see. Like, he wasn't impressive. He was just kind of annoying for a lot of the movie. And I honestly wish that character was more prominent so that that reaction was more guaranteed by the time Civil War comes around. I'm sorry, Winter Soldier 2 comes around. Because I would have really loved to enjoy that movie the right way. So, at the graveyard, we have like an actual prologue where Fury fucks off to Europe and he invites some people to go with him and nobody wants to go play with him. Widow gives Steve a folder and a kiss on the cheek, if I remember right. Like, she really should have lip locked him, just to see like how I would have loved that joke, just to see how much she can mess with him. It would have been a great running joke. And then oh yeah, Wilson turns down Fury a trip to Europe with Fury to stick around and play with Captain America because they love. You can ask me what I think of this movie. It's a Marvel movie. Of course, it looks good. It's got great action. It's got characters that were in Marvel comics. I don't know. I'm starting to get jaded on the MCU a little bit, but they do better movies, better independent standing movies than DC. It's the interlocking of everything that's supposed to make it special for me, and it doesn't matter because they keep breaking things and locking things out, and it's making me jaded against the rest of the movies, because this movie is pretty good. It does connect, up to this point in the series, it does connect the other movies pretty well, and it even sets up a lot of good stuff for the future, including Crossbones. Because it's not until after. Oh my god! And I can't even piece together in my head. Let's see, MCU timeline. Timeline explained. Infinity Stones of Infinity War. Oh my god! There's multiple wikis on this. Just give me the list of movies. Okay, Phase 1, Iron Man, The Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, Thor, Captain America. Wait. So where's the Hulk at? Wait, because The Incredible Hulk... Wait a minute. I think they have the wrong title. Because The Incredible Hulk, I thought, was the original Hulk movie with Liv Tyler in it. Where it's like really sad and really weird, and then Hulk's dad has I guess this is the Edward Norton one. Okay. So I guess the Hulk was the one that wasn't so good. So the Hulk came before Iron Man. There's the Hulk, Iron Man, the Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, Thor, Captain America, the first Avenger, Marvel's The Avengers, and up to that point it was pretty solid, even though I didn't like the direction, especially Iron Man went. And then we have Iron Man 3 because he's all fucked up about going into space and almost dying and playing around with gods, being a man in a toy. And then Thor: Dark World, and I think this is kind of where we're building up for the Infinity Stone series. So then we have Captain America: Winter Soldier. So I had a point. What was it? Because I want to see where this fell in the timeline up to Civil War. So, I want to see where it was Age of Ultron. Because Avengers: Age of Ultron happened the year after Winter Soldier, and then the year after that was Civil War. How do I say this? Because the Avengers: Age of Ultron is where like the universe really started breaking, and they solidified that a couple of times to the point where like I think we need a reboot in order to do it, and it will reboot. The reboot will probably reboot some of the characters. Like I don't see Doctor Strange changing. I think that'll remain canon. I think Black Panther will probably remain canon. For the love of God, as much as I like Thor Ragnarok, hopefully they change that. Spider-Man Homecoming shouldn't change. No, it should change. I apologize. Because hopefully they'll fix Civil War if they ever go back and reboot the series properly. Because one day they'll just put our comics on the silver screen, and that's be how it is. Because that's how it should be. That's my opinion. Take it, leave it, dump it, whatever. This is my United States of whatever. Wow. So they just, I don't know. So much going on. Cloak and Dagger for TV? Wow. Wow, I forgot about that. Captain Marvel. That's an important distinction. Yeah, I don't know. Marvel's in a weird spot. So I like going back and watching these older ones before like it was too shitty. Because it's really hard to call them shitty movies because they're so well done. They look great. They've got great casts, well casted, good actors. But the writing's just not what I want as a fan of the source material. It's hard. It's just sad when like if you're a fan of the source material, the reason they made the movies, and then you can't enjoy these new products to the fullest because you know better. People who haven't read the comics at all, these are fucking great movies. Watch every single one of them. If you know the comics at all, then it becomes questionable. Too much knowledge. Okay, I think that's it for me. What the fuck did I just open here? Who's this? Who are you? I don't know who you are, lady in the video. Alright, I gotta get done with this. Life carries on. We all have things to do. I'm not going to stand here and watch videos without sound while you watch me not do anything. Check this out. I still recommend it. I'll get around to the review eventually. Go over to WeAreMovieClub.tumblr.com to see the reviews that we do have posted, and join us on Rabbit/Camerai to watch this every Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern. Next week we will be doing Captain America, the first Avenger for real. And then we'll probably move on to Iron Man. And then we'll probably do the Hulk after that. The goal being that hopefully Thor Ragnarok is out officially. I see you. Officially by that point I can just buy it or whatever, and I'll feel good about my life. So until you see me next time, I'm Cameron, and this has been #WeAreMovieClub. you want to see anything else we're up to, go click ahead and click the annotations, and they'll take you to our other channels. Thanks for watching.